The following is a Journey into Comics Network production.
Good luck.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Addicts Podcast, the show where we talk about the modern and retro video games that we play and collect. I'm your host, Brando. Joining me here today, as always, is this podcast player too, Mike.
Oh, hello.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm in a lot of pain today. I've been dealing with a lot of sciatic pain. And if you guys are wondering why you're not seeing us on YouTube, that's because we are not in the same place. Because I feared for my own personal pain tolerance level. I like to think it's relatively high. But with this nerve shooting pain sitting on those hard-ass chairs that we have in the game room at your place, I feared. I'm like, man, I'm going to have to crawl down the steps. Padfoot's going to tackle me and just maul me with love the entire time that I'm on the floor. And I'm just going to have to crawl out to my car and lift my, because dude, literally, when I'm on my feet, I'm fine. I'm perfect. If we did the whole show standing up in front of a green screen like a weatherman, could probably do the show fine. But if I'm trying to relax, I'm in so much pain. And then when I try to stand up, I'm in even more so pain. It's like I almost have to stretch myself to be able to get ready to stand up.
Right.
It absolutely sucks. So we do apologize for not really being on camera this week, which is, it's fine. We don't have a whole lot of pickups to show you guys or anything that, coming up in. But what I do want to say, Mike, is that, for the audio portion of the show, which is, we're a podcast, number one, so it's mainly audio. We got featured by our hosts at Podbean.
Yes.
And as we record this, that was just last week. But by the time you hear this, it'll be more than a week removed. We want to welcome every single one of our new followers and our new listeners to the show, and hope you guys want to stick around and listen to us nerd out and talk about some games. The thing is, guys, is that we do this every single Thursday right here on Podbean. And of course, if you want to listen to us on other places, we're over there too on the iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, and on YouTube, as I said, normally with video. But that is I think what I'm going to do is take a still shot of one of us sitting at the table. And then we're not moving, but we were just talking. So that way it still seems like somebody clicks on that. And have you ever seen those really bad clickbait videos? We're like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I gotta click on this. Or it's like a lot of the fail videos, or a lot of the things put a really attractive girl on the thumbnail, and then she's not in the video whatsoever. And then you feel duped, but you also felt somewhat entertained by the fact that a lot of people are just really stupid and eating Tide detergent pods.
Right.
Have you heard about that?
Yes. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it there.
So what we always like to do here on the show is that we like to start off with some pickups, and I only have one, and I got the Mass Effect Andromeda Strategy Guide. And I have the guides for the other games, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I was able to find those and track those down. I have the big art book for Mass Effect 1 that Nate gave me many, many years ago. But I never did pick up the guide for Andromeda, and nor do I really need it. But since, I'm kind of that collector, I'm like, well, I already have the other ones. I got Mass Effect Monopoly. I might as well get this. But the idea is that, when I saw it for $4, I'm like, I'm buying that. That's only $4. It's in really good condition. A little bit of wear on it, but not much at all, just like all the other ones. So it fits right in with my collection. And then when I go back around to replaying Andromeda, whenever that's going to be, probably not for a good while, maybe I'll actually utilize it and try to 100% it and track down all the different crap.
Yeah.
All your different little things, all your different little collectibles that you can get in that game. Maybe I'll do that, because that was part of the I like exploring, but I don't like redundant exploring.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I feel what was a lot in Andromeda. But you have a pickup or two over there as well?
I have two. So I found Perfect Dark Zero Collector's Tin, and it has everything in it and it's in pristine condition, which you can see and nobody else can. The tin is not dented, and it still has all the sleeves, and it has the little comic book. The tins came with like a little Perfect Dark comic book. The other one is a collectible, which I'm going to get up and get.
Uh-oh, he forgot to grab it.
Yes, I did. Well, it's sitting up here,
Oh.
which nobody else can see that, but it's sitting on top of the bookshelf behind me.
Oh, yes. Oh, see, I can't even see where it's placed. It's so far up there. Oh, wait. Is that a...
That is from Morrowind. This is a Colossus. This is a Dwarven Colossus.
Yeah.
Now, anybody that's played these games knows that these things suck. Very much.
All right. I
They're-
remember you
or
sending
where
me
am
I remember you sending me the picture of the
Yes.
Morrowind Online expansion in that. So you picked that up for the Wi-Fi.
Yes. Only they did not have, the game was not included, so I merely bought it for the statue. Because, one, we don't really play that online because we don't have the time to invest in that game. And anybody that knows MMORPGs, you must dedicate majority of your life to this game. So I saw it at N&B. We were downtown. We had, there's a new little ramen shop downtown. Really, really good. We will have to go there. Yes, it is fantastic. And I was like, I'm here. I'm 2 blocks away, and I have 3 hours before I need to go to work. Yeah, I'm going. So he didn't have much in there. He had a couple of okay stuff, but he's a little higher than everyone else. And he had this statue sitting up, and I walked by it, and at first glance, I thought it was part of BioShock.
When you first brought it down, that's what I thought it was too, until you showed me the front of it, and then I remember you sent me that picture.
Yeah, so I walked by it, thought, oh, that's kind of neat. And then I kept doing my stuff, and I'm looking around, poking around, and walking through. There's some stuff I wouldn't mind picking up. It's like, do I really want to get it? And I went back to the counter, and I looked at it, and I looked a little harder, and I was like, wait a minute. That looks like something from an Elder Scrolls game. So I flip it around, and it's Morrowind. It's the Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind expansion. And this is the statue. So literally, which at the same spot that I removed that from, I have the Imperial Collector's Edition. So now I have both Collector's Editions of this game. And the only thing I'm really missing is the Skyrim Collector's Edition, and I will have every statue that they've had out. And that one's like $200.
Yeah, but that's where the collecting bug bites, because then
Yes.
what's going to happen when you actually come across it in person?
Yep.
And then
It's going to get bought.
Yeah,
No.
that's the same thing. That's we were talking before on air. I bought some new music stuff for one of my favorite bands, and also our intro namesake, Iced Earth. Our intro is an 8-bit remix of one of their songs, and one of my favorite bands of all time, if not my most favorite band. Anyway, I'm going to go see them soon. Nate's going to go down. Maybe we have a few other guys going down with us. And so I got the collectors. I got the VIP passes with a bunch of loot stuff came with that. But then it was literally like on Friday, I'm like chilling out at the house. We got out of work early. I'm trying to rest and be comfortable, but with my current pain situation, that's not really happening too much. So I'm just sitting there chilling, and then I see that, hey, there's a vinyl sale over at Century Media. And literally 5 of their records, I got it for 50% off. But they don't ship out. It's like a pre-order thing. So
right.
These are what these vinyls are. These are repressings of some of their back catalog that Century Media owns the rights to. So then, if it's they had a sale on it, and they said all of them said that they were pre-orders and that they would ship out on the 26th. So what I'm thinking is that these are the second wave of reprints for these.
Maybe, yeah.
When they first brought them out, you had the first wave. They went out, and now they're getting ready to make more. So they went ahead and they had a site-wide sale on a lot of stuff. Hey, let's throw those up for 50% off for the pre-sale price. And buddy, I tell you what, it's awesome because I want to start collecting vinyl. That's I primarily collect video games and even some knickknacks, some of the pop vinyls and stuff like that. But I wanted to start getting into vinyl. The only issue is I still don't have a vinyl record player, but I do have a small little cool collection of vinyls that I have and I want to get into it. I want to have a full blown vinyl collection because I don't really listen to CDs anymore. It's all like when I'm in the car or on the go, it's all on my phone. It's like Spotify, it's podcasts, which, the sound quality with music isn't always the highest. Well, when I'm in my car cruising or just going to work, or I don't really care how awesome it sounds. I want to hear the song. But to get the awesome, like if I'm chilling at the house, why wouldn't I have awesome, access to vinyl? So that's just something that I want to get into. So that's it for pickups, but we did have something very, very big just kind of drop into our laps this past week. And we're actually recording this episode a full week in advance. Nate and I did the 64 episode, which was now time traveling. It hasn't gone up yet, but yeah, it hasn't gone up yet, but by the time you guys are hearing this, it was last week's episode. So we're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct Mini, and what I'm hoping is that there's not another big Nintendo Direct, because there's this article that I found, and they're saying that they actually timed out some of the mini directs and how long later they had a bigger direct. And so in October 29...
I haven't seen that.
Well, this is just... I found an article online when I went to go type up and look up all of the reveals from the mini direct like you already have up.
Yeah.
And I just clicked on this one article, and it's saying that October 29, 2013 had a direct mini, and then 14 days later they had a bigger direct. And then in 2016, November 2nd, 2016 had a direct mini. November 5th, they had a bigger direct. So only 3 days later. And basically what this thing was saying is that, hey, there's still some hopes for some stuff that didn't get announced, some bigger rumors that might be coming, because they might be saving those bigger announcements for a bigger direct.
Right.
That may be coming, because this direct came out of nowhere. I didn't know it was coming. A lot of people heard, there's going to be one coming, but this one just hey guys, guess what? We're live and we're going to be talking about this stuff. And some of the stuff that they talked about, if you just want to get the biggest one, the big reveal towards the end, the remastered of Dark Souls.
Yes.
Of course, that game is coming out for the PS4 and Xbox One, but it's getting a Switch port as well. This is a pretty big deal. It really is, because Dark Souls is a game series that it got built up into this, what is now a franchise. It started with Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne even. It's almost kind of like Bloodborne's almost kind of like a bastard nephew of Dark Souls.
It's the redheaded stepchild.
But then, of course, we had Dark Souls 3. So, but this is going to be a lot of diehard fans might be getting back into this because they can play it on the newer consoles. And then, of course, with the Switch, you can play it on the go.
And see, I've never played the first Dark Souls, so I might pick it up.
Right, I never did either. It's a series that I've always watched other people play, and I never actually played. I know you played Bloodborne.
It started playing when I clicked on it.
It's cool. It didn't. I didn't hear it. You got to be careful with those automatic video plays.
I know.
We get in trouble with that all the time over on Journey to Comics, man. Anytime that we try to let's go click on this, big old loud trailer starting to play. Anyway, so Dark Souls got announced. A new Mario Tennis Aces got announced.
Yes.
And then, of course, we had the Switch ports of Hyrule Warriors,
which is the ultimate.
The ultimate,
Hyrule's version.
Because you had the Wii U version, and then later on the 3DS version that had some exclusive characters and whatnot. And this is going to be all the DLC, everything, boom, right here. The big Switch. You know what? I never did pull the trigger on that and buy that because I used to love the Dynasty Warrior series when I was a kid, But then, like, I really got into the Gundam series because it's Dynasty Warriors meets Gundam, and I'm like, this is amazing. It works perfectly. And then, of course, with Hyrule Warriors, it did so well, and it was like people were like, I don't know. But then it reviewed so well, and they said, you know what? It's still got the Dynasty stuff in there, but it brought so much stuff over from Zelda, it kind of feels like a different kind of game. Like they mix-mashed them pretty well. And I am tempted to pick this up because, I mean, this is the ultimate version to get. The next one, though, I am not tempted to get it whatsoever because I already have it. And what they're adding is not enough for me to want to pick it up, and that is the Switch port of Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
Right. Which we kind of figured that they were going to start porting stuff over. But.
Well, you heard the news about sales, right?
No.
All right, so the Switch is now officially the fastest-selling console in U.S. history. It is outpacing the Nintendo Wii, which is ridiculous to say that because you just 13 years ago, 12 years ago, you could not find those anywhere for like a year.
No, yeah.
And the Switch was kind of like that for the first few months, but once we got into the fall, now it's like you can find one. Whether you go to GameStop, Walmart's, Best Buys, they have them. You know, a few locations might be sold out, but you shouldn't have to have a hunt to find a Switch now, which is awesome because now that they're available and there are people who have that, you know what? I wasn't going to, but now I think I want to. And if they have the access to one to go get it when they have that hunch, that right there, that is a sale right there. One of our friends from work messaged me yesterday and said, yeah, I'm thinking about trading in my 3DS and getting a Switch.
Really?
Good old Nick Torres.
Oh, Torres.
And, he went, and he was asking me questions about it. He was like, what's the idea? You know, are there going to be a lot of third-party games for it? And I'm like, sales are through the roof. As long as the sales are there, third-party games are going to be there.
Well, one of the next ones that we'll talk about is Payday 2.
Exactly. And
coming on the Switch.
Yeah, so it's, here we are. We got Doom. We got Skyrim, L.A. Noire, Wolfenstein 2, Payday 2, Dark Souls. We have these big titles coming out. Some of these are older titles, but think about it. This is now a portable version of that game, and it's also beneficial if you never played it, just like the Dark Souls with you and me, or just like Nick was saying, I never did pick up Doom, and it's on the Switch. I might just go ahead and pick that up, and play through it there. That way I got something to play. But he's looking at getting a new handheld or getting something for a handheld, and he's looking at the Switch as just a handheld, which is he's not locked out of that market with the Switch.
Right.
If you want a home console, it's a home console. If you want a handheld, it's a handheld.
Even with that, he's looking at the new Pokemon game.
Exactly. A brand new Pokemon game.
He's a big Pokemon fan, so he can pick that up. He can play it, wherever, and then he comes home, click right up on the big screen, and that'll be the first time
if he wants to.
Real RPG Pokemon has been on your home TV.
But at the same token, if he doesn't want that, he doesn't need it. It's just a handheld. He can have it primarily as a handheld, and that's what the magic of the Switch. I think that's what's cool about it is that it's appealing to both audiences. I play it right now primarily docked, but I know that if I want to go chill in the back and I don't want to have a dock back here, it works fine, dude. When I was grilling out, I'd bring L.A. Noire back here, and I'd sit back and I'd play it. Now, there was a new, some DLC, a new Pokken. I think it's Pokken.
The new Pokken Tournament DX DLC.
Yeah, and there's Blastoise as a new character and some other Pokemon I've never heard of. Guys, I'm just giving you guys a heads up. If it's not Gen 1/Gen 2, and I don't even know all the Gen 2 Pokemons, I don't know who the hell they are. They lost... When I was a Gen 1 player, and when they went to Gen 2, I'm like, I don't like the looks of these guys, and they look stupid. And then finally, when they released the DS remake of Gold and Silver. I picked up Gold, and I finally, like 10 years later, played Generation 2 and was like, I accept you now, legendary dogs. Which I love. Those legendary dogs are awesome. But yeah, Gen 2 is cool. But I haven't, like, when they release the new one, whenever they do, I'm definitely going to pick it up because it's going to be that's going to be something to behold as a big, awesome, big, vast Pokemon game like that. Now, the other DLC was a free update to Mario Odyssey.
Yes, the balloons.
Oh, that looks so cool, doesn't it?
It does. Find Luigi and the balloons in Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, so in each level you have Luigi, and he's hanging out, and he connects you to kind of like an online competitive mode where your friend hides the balloon, and you got to go find it, and you only got so much time to hide it and find it, and it really relies on your knowing of the like the in and outs of the levels themselves. So, like, if you know all the nooks and crannies and where to find all this cool stuff and where to hide stuff, maybe people never find that damn thing.
Right.
They also announced the release date for Kirby, which I can't remember the name of, something Allies or something.
That is Kirby Star Allies.
So that's coming out in March. Pretty early. It's not going to be a huge game, but I've always been a cool fan of the Kirby games, and now you get to mix and mash some powers and make some new powers. I don't remember when they said Hyrule Warriors is coming out, but I do remember Donkey Kong was in May.
Yeah, I don't have the dates up because it's got this essentially like clickbait. If I click on it, it'll start playing the thing. Yeah,
Dark Souls coming out in May as well. They also announced a remake of The World Ends With You Final Remix, which is it was a DS RPG released by Square on the DS, and it's kind of like a rhythm action RPG. It's kind of like this weird kind of mashing of genres. That's coming to the Switch. And they announced SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, which is basically a Fatal Fury with just all of the female characters. And so you got your kind of new SNK fighter. They also announced, and I got really excited about this, Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, coming to the Switch. Now, that game got released on the PS4 and the PS Vita back in the summer of 2017, and I still haven't picked it up. Part of which it was like, man, every time I see it, it just didn't fit into my budget. Well, I also read that the translation was really bad.
Oh, yeah.
And so they've completely relocalized it. They went through and they completely relocalized it to make the translation better, and that's going to be on the Switch version. But, as I've detailed here on the show before, I do own quite a few Ys games in my collection. Of course, I got the PSP titles. I got a PS2 version as well. And, of course, I got one of the ones on Vita, I think Memories of Celceta. So I'm going to have to pick it up on Switch. I think that's going to be my location because I was always sort of like, with the PS4, PS Vita, I've only got one home console version of the Ys games. The rest of them are portable. So I was trying to decide, do I want to get the PS4 or PS Vita one? Well, now I've got a both console and portable version for the Switch version. So I'm very excited about that. Man, was there anything else worth mentioning in this? We got hit with a lot of information very quickly.
So some of the ones that I think is cool is that The World's End With You remixed. That's coming back. That's an old classic.
Yeah.
And then another one that's redone, which if you're a fighter, I'm not a side-scroll fighter, but the Face-Off and SNK Heroines, the Tag Team Frenzy, that looks kind of cool, but not something that I'm going to pick up.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a fighter, it's a one-on-one fighter. And The World Ends With You, that's something that I never even really knew about. That was on the DS, like I said, and
that's the one that you get the guy gets the 60 minutes to live on his hand, I believe.
Yeah, that's almost like that one movie with Timberlake.
Yeah.
In Time movie. But anyway, dude, we got quite we got like a lot of stuff like just kind of thrown at us all at once with this direct. But what this article is, it says, and it says Nintendo Switch games news. That some games that are still alive for announcement for this reason, and they were talking about how they have the mini directs and they like to save some of the bigger announcements for the major directs. And
Smash.
Well,
Smash is coming.
So there are 4 games that people have been hoping for information on. One is the Smash game, whether that's a port of the last one, and of course Pokemon Switch.
Yes.
The other 2 have been rumored to get announced by Nintendo this month, which shocked me because these are titles that have been just rumored in general, but I can see it happening depending on game card size, depending on whether or not they're able to get the games running and working good, and that is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, as I say,
and Red Dead Redemption Remastered.
Huh.
And which, if we get a Red Dead Redemption Remastered on the Switch,
you know what that means.
We're probably getting a port of Red Dead 2.
This console, to me, has propelled Nintendo back into the limelight.
Well, and what I've kind of said is that they are not looking to compete directly with PlayStation or Xbox right now. They're looking to become PlayStation just announced they've got like over 73 million consoles sold. Nintendo is aware that you probably own a PS4.
Yes.
So they're giving you like, okay, here's this other thing that isn't a 4K powerhouse, but it's something different. And so now it's going to start creating the question, do I want to play this game on my 4K or do I want to play it on the Switch where I can literally switch up how I play it?
Well, on this also is they're giving you something fresh. This is, you can play it at home or you can play it on the go. They have marketed this thing phenomenally when you compare it to the Wii U. The Wii U was marketed horribly. This one, they've done a really good job. I mean, they're starting now that they're really getting that third-party support. It's hard to not own one again because now you're getting your Nintendo originals, and now you're starting to see, Dark Souls is coming over, Skyrim has come over. That's a huge game. I wish they would just make a new Elder Scrolls game and stop porting Skyrim to absolutely everything in its mother. But you're getting a lot. You're starting to see these ports coming over, and you're starting to see the third-party support, which really is fantastic for a Nintendo fanboy because now you'll see them start pushing out more games and more stuff's going to be pushed on this system, which is going to be great. I'm excited to see what the future holds for it for sure.
I shared a picture today on Facebook, and I don't know if you saw it, but I'm gonna show it to you here, and it's a picture. It's Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition and Knuckles HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue Remastered Simulator the game with
Jesus.
Bennett Foddy featuring Dante from Devil May Cry series Game of the Year edition.
Good Lord!
Yeah, it's basically being a pretty big parody of of the whole Skyrim being ported to everything, but you know what? The Switch just outsold Wii U lifetime sales in Japan.
Yes,
in less than a year. So that is a big deal. That is a huge deal. The Switch is not going anywhere. There are going to be third-party games for it, and as I told our buddy Nick, there are going to be third-party games for it, but odds are they're going to be being ported by somebody else, another company. For example, Bethesda did not port Skyrim for this themselves. I guarantee you they didn't. Just like L.A. Noire, Rockstar did not do this themselves. Just like Doom, Bethesda did not do Doom themselves. They hired another company, you guys take this game, get it working on the Switch. And that's what their job was. Their job was to port that game to get it working for the Switch. You have to do your research because not every single one of these games is going to run great on the Switch. The Switch is a little bit underpowered, not by much, but just enough, where these newer games that are coming out now are pushing more of the PS4 and Xbox One's power. So, some of these older games, earlier PS4 and Xbox One games, even games that are being remastered that were older last generation, those games should run fine. But the newer ones like the Wolfenstein 2, I want to see how that runs because that to me is going to show. And Doom is reportedly running pretty damn good, all things considered.
That's what I've heard.
So that's a good a good thing to take note of. However, WWE 2K does not run good, and it still doesn't run good after the patch. So please, if you want to become a Switch enthusiast or use the Switch, you just got to do your research. Go, it takes a little bit of extra effort. Go out, read a review of the Switch version of the game, because if you're thinking about if they end up doing a Red Dead Redemption 2, you're going to get 4K out of the Xbox One X. You're going to get near 4K out of the PS4 Pro. And the Switch doesn't do that, but it gives you something different. It gives you the whole portability aspect, and it's going to give you, and it should give you 1080p at least on the on docked mode. But look at how well it runs on the Switch, because if it doesn't run well on the Switch and you already have one of the other consoles, just pick it up for one of those.
Yeah,
and that's the era that we're going to be living in right now. If they come out with Red Dead Redemption Remastered for the Switch, I'm a sucker, and I'm going to buy it. I guarantee you I will.
Yes, you are.
I am a sucker. I will own that.
What if they do a Mass Effect remaster on the Switch?
Sold. Completely and utterly sold.
Yeah. That would be awesome to have, though. Think about it, because they've got the Wi-Fi. Maybe I could be like your party member. That would be awesome. That
would be cool if they were able to do that. I don't know if because for the single player, that would mean going in and changing up and making it co-op, and that's going to go in and you're gonna have to go in and change the code and have the game work. So maybe that wouldn't work out well. But if you think about having the trilogy of games, all three games, on one card, that's not going to happen probably until they get the 64-bit gigabyte cards, which I hope they come out with sooner than later. They said they got to wait another year, and I hope they can get them out by the end of the year. Because if you're going to release Grand Theft Auto 5,
you need that 64.
Yes.
There's no way.
Yes. Even if you're not pushing the kind of graphics that they're getting out of the PS4 and Xbox One, you think about that. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on the last gen. It was still a massive game. Like the 360 needed an install disc, to just play the game, and the PS3 needed to install off the Blu-ray. So, like when they brought it over and they up-resed it and then did a remaster of it, or just a re-release, that game looks even better.
Yep,
it looks fantastic and it plays fantastic. But
I still do not own that. Shame on me.
Oh, you mean for the newer ones? Like for the PS4?
Yes. I'm trying to find it secondhand since I've already played it, and most people still want, since it's still a $60 game, they're like, I've had this for however long it's been out. I want to sell it for $40.
Right.
I ain't paying $40.
Hell no, man. Hell no, I'm not giving you $40 for that. But, dude, like the Switch, now is going to be a great time to get it, especially with the holidays past us and the tax season kind of coming forward. Pick up a Switch. If you are looking for like, man, I want another handheld, just like Nick, get a Switch. There's enough there. Yeah. He goes, I might pick up some games, and he goes, I'm thinking about picking up Doom and maybe Zelda. I'm like, Zelda is a massive game. That's going to keep you busy.
Yeah, Zelda's gonna. I mean, shit, I haven't even done half the stuff in that, and I've got 60 hours invested in it.
I just restarted Zelda on the Switch, and I just got to Karika Village. I'm still really early in the game. The benefit now is that I know where to go and know what to do. So I'm not getting lost as easy because I kind of know where to go. The thing is that I just beat the story from Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
How do you like the end where you become, spoiler alert, you become Bowser?
That was awesome. That
was like one of the greatest moments.
And like, I like how they're both trying to like woo Peach at the end with the flowers.
Yes.
And Bowser has like those power of like those piranha flowers.
Yeah.
And like they're biting at her, and you know.
One of the cool things is like whenever she's like no, and they both go oh, you see Mario reach behind him and he's patting Bowser on his shell like it's all right, man.
Dude, it was a lot of fun, and I love how the game isn't over, and you could still go and you could just explore and do a whole bunch of stuff.
Like 900 boons.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm not even close to that. I think I'm at like 200 or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but I really, really enjoyed Mario Odyssey. If you guys are getting a Switch and you liked Mario back in the day and you're thinking about it, I don't think you'll be disappointed with that game at all. The game wasn't too hard. There were a few moments that made me want to throw my controller because it was stupid, but I digress. Really, really enjoying Nate. Not Nate. Nate said he was playing. Was he playing Mario Odyssey? Can't remember.
He played it at my house, but I'm not sure.
I can't remember. Oh no, Nate just got access to Steam on that new computer.
Oh yeah.
Sarah's brother linked his Steam account, and he's got over 700 games on that Steam account.
Oh wow.
And he was like, yeah, dude, they got like he's got that bully game. I'm thinking about playing that again, and I'm like, warning, the port sucks. That's what that single game deterred me from becoming a PC gamer altogether because of how shitty that port is, and not all games have that, but dude, sometimes they don't give a shit about the PC guys and they focus more on the consoles, and the PCs get shittier ports. So in order to get the game to work, you got to do extra work. But anyway, I sort of redid my living room setup.
Oh, yeah?
And I like how I'm going to be describing this to you and no one else has seen my living room. So this is.
But I'll know exactly where everything is.
Okay, so do you remember where the entertainment fireplace was?
Yes.
Okay, the couch is there now.
Okay.
And the couch and that have switched spots. So the fireplace is now on that little spot where the TV, where the couch, the chair, dang it.
Yeah, the chair and the mini fridge was, yes.
Yes, it was right there. That's where that is now.
Okay.
And we just mounted the TV yesterday to the wall.
Ooh, fancy.
So it's sitting pretty high up. I have a picture that I will send you.
You're going to show me, no one else.
I got to find it first. Because apparently I screenshot stuff like a sumbitch. There you go.
Yay. Hey.
So we went pretty high with the TV. That's kind of Kate's fault because of the mount that we got. It's a swivel mount. So like it like comes out. Well, she didn't realize where she was making the marks that it was the TV was actually going to sit higher than what that was. So
yeah, that's pretty high.
However, I like it.
That's really high.
But I actually like it because how I normally sit is like really relaxed.
Yeah.
And now like it's so natural for my eyes to go there.
So are you going to keep the PS4 standing?
Yes. I have to.
Because it won't reach?
No. Because of a certain toddler.
Oh.
Yes. That toddler has grabby hands, and he can reach up there and just. We had to move the PS4 out of his reach and set it up on a shelf because he was taking discs out and putting them in upside down, and that's what it's going to have to be. As of right now, he cannot reach anything that's on there. We did have the TV sitting on the fireplace for about a week, and I had the system behind the TV.
Do what you got to do.
And the Switch was behind the TV as well, and he can almost reach the Switch. And so we had to, now the Switch is right in the middle, and he can't reach it. We are thinking about putting up, since the TV's so high now, we're thinking about putting up a shelf underneath it to house the systems.
There you go.
And then just putting pictures like on the fireplace, more decoration. If he gets hold of a picture, that's a picture. But
Right.
it's not a Switch or a PS4. But oh man, I don't know if I got much else to talk about. Oh, there is one other thing that I wanted to talk about that I saved the article. We covered, I think it was around E3. They announced, I can't remember who's making it. Gosh darn it. My phone is just like, it's getting like don't you hate it how like your phone it's almost like it just disconnects from everything, and then it just starts getting like notifications from everybody and everything?
Yep, that's what I was been looking at while we've been talking. As I get notifications, I've been getting a slew of notifications.
Okay, so
as I'm still trying to look for articles.
Yeah, so the Xbox Duke controller remake is coming out.
Yes.
I can't remember who's making it. If it's Hyperkin is making it.
It's Hyperkin, yeah.
And they have a release window. It's at the end of March, and it's $70.
Shoo!
I know it's a little pricey.
I'm still a little sour with them.
I know you are.
That's going to remain that way for a while.
It really sucks because I mean you spent money on that damn thing, and of course, we're talking about the Retron 5. Yours it don't work anymore.
It just bricked on its own.
That's crazy.
It wasn't even playing it, and I tried to put somebody was like, read some articles, and they're like, yeah, you need to check it out if you've left it plugged in for more than a certain amount of time. It'll brick. So I pull it up, and it's bricked. Won't even turn on, nothing. And I'm pretty salty. I was at a point where I was going to turn it in and see if they'll give me a new one. And you know what? I don't even want one. I'll just make my my Retro Pi and put all the games on it that I want and buy the ones that I want for display only, but at least I'll have the games
right
to play.
Yeah, because it's not like we advocate piracy or anything.
No,
absolutely not. Absolutely.
No. And technically it's not, because they wouldn't be selling them all the time.
So they're talking about the rumored of an N64 classic.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't heard any sort of like straight news for that. It's all just been rumors. But again, it's cool. But to that same effect, you could get yourself set up with a Pi. And have like almost everything. And from what I understand, N64 emulation sometimes doesn't work on a Pi. You need a certain level of Pi.
Well, now if you were going to go out and buy like one of the new ones, I think it's the RI3, they'll pretty much play everything, and they have an emulator out that will cover every system now.
Right.
So you can I believe it's up to the 64. I don't know if the PS2 is on there, but so you start to put PS2 games on a card, you're really going to start eating up some space.
I saw a video where this dude turned his Fire Stick into an emulator machine.
Yes, it's not difficult anymore.
And it plays PS1 games perfectly.
Yep.
But it doesn't play N64 games like where the shit. Apparently, it ran that really bad, but it ran NES, SNES, Genesis, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, PS1. It ran those really well. Trust me, I am tempted because it's got Bluetooth, so all you got to do is hook up a Bluetooth controller to it, and you're good to go.
Yep.
I am tempted because I bought a Fire Stick, and I'm very disappointed with my Fire Stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just...
We only use ours for HBO now.
Well, see, and here's the thing, is that like the thing is so slow. It is so slow.
Yes.
And I don't know if like my Wi-Fi just isn't fast enough. Like to do all of the things that you can do with a Fire Stick. I'm sure anybody listening to this podcast knows what I'm talking about without having me to say it.
Yeah.
To do all that cool stuff you can do with a Fire Stick nowadays, I can't do it, man. It just buffers so much and loads. I give up and I say, screw this crap. I'm just going to pay and download and get a subscription to whatever thing that I want, because at that point, I would rather pay the dude or pay PS View $40 a month for 2 or 3 months to watch The Walking Dead instead of sitting here having to watch my TV screen buffer for 30 minutes and maybe it doesn't even work. And I'm tired of it. I just, and from what I understand, the Fire TVs that you put in a Ethernet plug into work a little bit better. So maybe it would have been, maybe if I get one of those, it might improve performance. But at this point, I don't even care anymore. Like I literally, like, we were trying to watch Walking Dead maybe like in the spring or something. And it got to the point where we sat there with it all night and couldn't watch the damn thing. And then I pretty much like did the whole meme flipping table over. And then the next night we had a subscription to PS View and we just watched the episode with 0 problems.
Right.
So if people say, well, you're doing it wrong, I probably am doing it wrong at this point. I got everything set up the way it was supposed to be set up. And then I've heard, well, they've updated it now because they don't want you doing. Well, of course they don't want you doing that kind of stuff because it's a little illegal.
A little bit.
A little bit. But, I've got free HBO through Comcast until August. And, dude, Game of Thrones doesn't come back on until 19 now.
I know. But what?
Yeah, what do? I don't know if I got anything else to talk about this week, dude.
I do not.
I beat Mario Odyssey, playing Zelda. We finally played I Am Bread.
Oh, yeah?
Have you played
What
that
do you
yet?
think of that?
Have you played it?
I have not played it, but I've watched a lot of play of it.
It is so stupid and fun at the same time.
It is. You just had to get in the toaster.
Well, yeah, but it's like you have to avoid the floor, you have to avoid the ants, and it's like a puzzler, stupid control scheme, but at the same time, it's not impossible. Was it worth $1.90? Yeah, it was worth $1.90 because we got that on sale.
Right.
I tried firing up Dragon Age, like I said before, like going back into it, but I was so lost.
Yeah.
So I started a new character, and I made a girl this time, and I made an elf, and I made a mage. So I'm doing something entirely like I'm normally like the big, muscly, like sword dude going, I'm a big dumb sword guy, but now I'm like, I'm gonna do something really different. And then I played a little bit of it, haven't got back to it. You know what we could do? It is well into the month, but we could go over PS Plus versus Xbox Live. We normally do that every month. Well, we're going to do that here for you because I already have mine downloaded for PS Plus. So I'm going to get on to IGN and we're going to talk about what games you can get this month for January, as it's not wanting to cooperate. Okay, so for PS Plus, you get on PS4 Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
Yeah.
The retail price is $60. That's cool. You're getting that for free. And then also for PS4, you get Batman, the Telltale series.
Ooh.
That is retail at $25. For PS3, you get Sacred 3, which is $15. And the Book of Unwritten Tales 2 retails for $20. Then for Vita, you get Psychopaths Mandatory Happiness, which is $30, and Uncanny Valley, which is $13. Total retail value is $162.
Oh, yeah.
Then for Games with Gold, you get The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 3. Retails for $15.
Yeah.
Zombie, which that game originally came out for the Wii U. That was Zombie U.
Yeah.
That retails for $20. And then for the 360, which these are also backwards compatible, Tomb Raider Underworld, which retails at $20, and then Army of Two retails at $15. Total retail price.
Which are 360 games.
Yes, and they are 360, but they're also reverse compatibility. So if you can get them on the 360 as well. Or I mean on the Xbox One. Total retail value of the Xbox games with gold is $69.96, which places the PlayStation 1 at $100 more value.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. And here's a little tidbit. The PS Plus total savings for 2017
yes.
was $12.28. $1,200.28, and then games with gold saved you $1,039. But yeah, dude, it's not too bad. Not too bad. I'm looking forward to playing some of that Batman Telltale series. I heard it's great. I've been wanting to dive into that, but of course, I've been trying to play as much Zelda now as I can. The only issue is every time I bring up the Switch menu. Every time I bring up the Switch menu, my kid goes nuts about wanting me to play Mario.
There also, if you read right below all the Plus games, is in addition, PlayStation Plus members can also get the PSVR game Star Blood Arena free from January 2nd through March 6th.
Yep. They had, I think, a game that was available from September to December as a VR game.
Let's see. Let's go down. Yep. Rush of Blood. Until Dawn, Rush of Blood was the last one. And then the one before that, which was September 5th to November 7th, was Riggs, Mechanized Combat.
That's the one I was thinking of, Riggs. So, yeah, man, definitely go out if you've got either one of those and pick up your free games for the month. Of course, the cool thing about the games with gold with the 360 games, you get to keep those even if you lose your gold status. So that is just completely badass.
I was gonna sneeze, but it went away.
It's funny. Nate sneezed on Journey into Comics, and he's like, "Man, that's rare. That never happens." And it reminded me of one of our early episodes of Journey into Comics, where he named the title, "Ladies and Gentlemen, our Twachu." But I think that's going to do it for us here today on the show. I don't have a whole lot else to talk about. We just sort of got together today to try and put together a show. We want to talk about the Nintendo thing for sure, but other news elsewhere has been a little lax. And then, of course, there's not much going on with me playing stuff. I've just been playing the Switch.
Right. You've got Monster Hunter coming up.
We have Monster Hunter coming up, but
technically isn't it now?
By the time this episode comes out, I think it will be out, because I think it comes out on the 25th or on that week. So yeah, by the time episode drops, I think it comes out either comes out maybe it's either the 23rd or the 30th. I can't remember. Oh, he's got the little horse hooves.
Yeah.
Which day is it?
January 26th.
Oh, okay. So literally tomorrow. Monster Hunter's coming out. Now, here's the thing. I'm thinking about all the games I got sitting over there for my Switch. I've got Zelda. I've got Skyrim. I've got I Am Setsuna. I've got Xenoblade. And the games that are coming out for the next few months, guaranteed. Oh, there's Monster Hunter. There's God of War. There is, Far Cry 5, which that looks kind of fun, even though it's not necessarily my cup of tea. It still looks fun. And then going in, of course, we have Kirby. There's that. Then there's the Dark Souls thing, but it's like, when is Spider-Man coming out? We don't know. Red Dead is rumored to come out in June. Red Dead 2. So I think what I'm going to do here is announce, because that's the only thing. I haven't announced this to anybody or anything. I think I'm not going to pick up any more games until I get Red Dead. And
Monster Hunter is the only one I'm really looking at, and with what will happen for our lovely and beautiful Taxmas, things might change.
Well, I am looking at no games this year for Taxmas. I got my records. I'm taking some of my Taxmas down there to the concert. I'm going to try and get some stuff down there. And I think we talked about that right before the show, about some stuff I'm trying to get down there. I'm going to try and get some stuff to update, the sound quality of the podcast, maybe get some new microphones or something. I've talked about that. Yeah. Games-wise, dude, it's silly because I've said this. I see this all the time. I'm not buying any more games for a while. And I really feel like last year was one of my better years for not buying retro stuff. As far as
wasn't mine.
No, but I mean, you got some good deals though. the not buying games at all. Working on what I've got is something I need to do. Now, granted, that kind of sucks for, hey, I don't have any new pickups. But then, hopefully, if I can just dedicate more time to playing these games, literally in the last month, I've beaten 2 games. And all of last year, I beat 4.
Yeah, I definitely can't say any of that.
So it's like I beat LA Noire on Mario Odyssey in about a month. I need to beat Zelda. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a long game.
Yes.
Skyrim is a long game.
I've, as much as I've played of that, never beat the game.
What?
I get lost. Man, I can't stay on it. Once I get the book to get my extra skill point, I never return to the main story. I'm off doing all the side crap and killing the Daedra, and I'm not like my wife who has every mission complete in the game on every side.
Your wife was building an armory at one point.
Oh, she has multiple armories. Multiple. She's got like every house you can get right now in the PlayStation thing, and they're complete, like the mods. She's got tons of mods, almost all the houses, and they're completely full, like set up, and she takes the time to put things on the shelf so they sit a certain way. Yeah.
Dedication, man. Dedication. But
she is definitely dedicated to that game.
So for realsies this time, I think that's going to do it for us here today on the show. We're going to see you next time. Until then, you can check us out on like all the awesome podcast stuff. Of course, we're on Podbean. All of our great new followers and listeners on Podbean, welcome, and hope you stick around every single Thursday for a new episode. We're also on, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, Google Play Music. We're also on YouTube if that's where you want to digest your podcasts. Sometimes mostly video, but hey, this week, sorry guys. Number 1, I'm in pain. Number 2, it's cold. I don't want to go outside.
It's cold.
It's frigid out, man. So, but we're over there on YouTube, so you can digest us there. Of course, we're on the social medias. We're on Facebook. We are on the Twitters. We're on what's the other one? Instagram. Game Addicts Play. I couldn't remember what it was there for a second. I lost my mind. But of course, you can also check out GameAddictsPodcast.com. And go check out the main thing. And also, we are going to be a part of the Journey into Comics Patreon. Of course, that's our network that we're a part of. Journey into Comics Network Patreon. You head over to patreon.com/Journey into Comics. And for, if you give into that, or if you want to help us out, give us $1 or $3, and you get early access and also exclusive content. And we are going to be helping them with their Road to Infinity War, where we're going to be reviewing, and we're just going to say what movies we're reviewing for them. Thor 2 Dark World.
Not happy about that one, but it is what it is.
We're gonna give our honest opinions of it, and then Ant-Man.
I am excited for that one because, as we've said, as you said multiple times, and multiple people have said, that is one of the best movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole, and I'm excited to see it.
You know what? I really dig it because, as I said, it's one of the cool origins setups. Like, it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to watch the movie to enjoy him in Civil War because he's already there, but if you watch the movie, then you're already familiar with the character. That version of Ant-Man, just like with Thor and Captain America and Iron Man set up those characters, Ant-Man does the same thing for that character. And the awesome thing about Ant-Man is that he's never been an A-list superhero.
Right.
So therefore, it's like, here's this lower tier superhero getting a little bit more attention, which is always awesome. But we're
kind of like the Guardians.
Yeah, right. And so we're going to be over there on the Patreon, contributing, giving some exclusive content, supporting the Journey into Comics Network supports this show because I help manage the network. So this show was a spinoff of the Journey into Comics, and we're the first show to reach out and get our own feed. So head over there and help us out. It helps out with hosting. It helps out with upgrading the shows and also giving you guys more badass content. So with that being said, until next week, I've been Brando.
And I've been Mike.
We'll see you then, guys. Have a good one.